since I was a kid. They just didn't exist. But I would take my dad's camera and visualize the world on the moment. So I would be in his car and just look through his old broken camera and just imagining it was a flying camera through the window of the car. And so I've always been fascinating about just a moving camera. So my first job was being a camera assistant, working in dolly and crane shots. And I always had like good sense of movement. Also, at least I was hired because of it. And I had my first Steadicam in 1989. And today I'm selling drones, but I'm using it a lot myself, just mostly for myself, but sometimes I do some projects with my friend who has a drone company. Yeah, so before Volcano, I was doing this. This is actually my first top-down photo ever with a drone. And I was so blown away how different it looked from above. So, for example, this river is pretty ugly, not interested when you see it from ground level. But I was blown away when I took my drone up there and just saw it from above. So I became hooked. So this is a bridge in the middle with cars in it. And so I couldn't help myself. And I like the order and chaos. So the bridge is the order and the river is chaos. And then I started exploring just and became like, to me, this is like the universe or some galaxy fog or something, but it's basically just a glacial river blending in with all the minerals in the glacial lagoon. And here's one example. And then for me, this was a forest, but this is basalt columns next to a blue river. And I enjoyed just exploring the world, but I was always waiting for this here. And so since I got my first drone in, I think, 2015, I just was hoping for a volcano eruption. And then it finally happened in 2021. I was so excited. But this is just a part of what I've been doing before volcano. So there's a live before and after. To me, this is like a tree, but this is just a glacial river, very blue. It comes from Eyjafjallajökull, the famous volcano. And here is another example. So Iceland is just a great canvas, and this was just a lucky, totally lucky. This photo is all underwater, and but you can see through the water. I used polarized filter, and under the water is a river lying by the bottom. It's a glacial river, so it carves out like a path. But in there you see like an island, but to me it's like a heart. To me, this is like a Salvador Dali would have painted this. So I enjoyed very much like finding like art from above in nature. I'm just not creating anything, I'm just finding the art. This is an eye, but this is just what do you call it, hot spring. But to me, this is like an eye of Earth. And here I found like, some people say it's Pac-Man. It's just an iceberg in a glacier lagoon. And someone said it was like a Ratchet and Clark, some cartoon characters. Yeah, and then this is just you know, the normal stuff I do. Sometimes I would just drive like 500 kilometers, like in this case, for this shot. I didn't know what to expect, but the forecast was good. And I timed it so I would catch the sunrise. And you can see how the first sunbeams are shining through like a low-hanging fog over the beach. It was like glowing. And the video I took there ended up being a Netflix series called Dark Crystal. They added like monsters and flying dragons and in this video I took. So it was worth the 500 kilometer drive, you know, in the end. And so before eruption, this was the closest I could get. And this is just an old, like 1,000-year-old crater. But that night, that fateful night in, I think it was 18th of March 2021. This is what I saw on the way to the volcano eruption. It was pretty close to Reykjavik. It takes only like 35 minutes to drive from the city. And here we, parked. We were anxious to have a look at it, but the police was very strict. Nobody could go near, and they were very like careful about like because it could be poisonous gas, and so nobody could get close. But I had my gear, Enterprise drones, and there were some scientists in the area, and I offered my Enterprise drones, which had like 200 times zoom camera and a thermal camera, and can fly in like more than 20 meters per second wind. And it was very windy that night, so no drones could fly, except my drone. So I made new friends, the scientists. And I managed to explore the volcano from like 5 kilometer distance. And I just lost myself in how happy I was. And the scientists were leaning over my shoulders to look at the remote and see the first images from the eruption. So this is my first volcano eruption photo. This is that night, that first night. And this is like a video, my first video I made. And this is done on Enterprise drones, so this is not done on drones made for cinema photography. Like this is like probably like 50 times zoom. And the wind was like 22 or 3 meters per second when I shot this. So it was impossible to use like non-enterprise drones, normal drones to capture this. See here, it's Matrice 300 RTK. And because I was so excited to fly over the volcano, I ignored the classic return to home. And I had to walk like 4 kilometers to find my drone. It landed in a lava field because it was totally out of battery. But I was blessed, and I would think the elves maybe caught it for me because it was perfectly intact, the drone. But it landed like this, and you see how the sky is like glowing behind. So I was very lucky. And here's like a 360 photo I took of the eruption early, after it started. I think on the second day. And so, and this is shot by the Enterprise drone. And here, this first eruption lasted 6 months, and it was always changing. Like there was just new chapters. And for example, with this one, it was like at this period, the crater was spewing lava every 6 minutes, like a geyser. And I can just show you a video of that. This is just some photos I took. My volcano photos before I go to videos. This is the eruption last year on the 19th of July. And this is captured now in Mars with the current eruption. So this is the crater that is currently erupting. And it has been going on for a month now. This is I shot this in Grindavik, the town, on the fateful night when the people of Grindavik had to evacuate the town, leave most of their belongings behind. And it was just all over, there were just cracks going through the whole town. And there was no one there except me and the police. I did like a summary of the first eruption period, the 6 months, and how it started. And this is kind of the story of that eruption, how it evolved. There were new craters starting all the time. Here you see like 4 craters in a row. How is the video playing on Teams? Is it smooth or is it lagging?
It's sometimes lagging, sometimes smooth.
Okay.
That's a little bit 50-50.
Okay, sorry about that. Here's an example of how the craters were erupting like a geyser. See how it builds up. And the crater was doing this every 6 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes. It was so exciting. This was the best period ever to see that. And the lava goes there like 150 meters up in the air. And this is real time, so you see how, how long it takes to fall to the ground. This is huge. It's much bigger than you think, I think even it's going like 200 meters there. Crazy. And then it would cool down and start after 5 minutes or 6 minutes. I was very blessed with finding things that have never been captured before on a video. And one of the examples are like a lava cave, lava tunnel that is just being empty or just got empty. So it's still glowing. It's called the cool name Skylight. You can see it here. You can see the texture inside the cave. And this has never been caught on video like that. And here it was like 18 meters per second wind. Cool. And in the second year, we had another eruption in Merardalir. It lasted, I think, a little bit more than a week. And what was special about this is it was like breathing. It was making waves, crazy waves. And I was just hypnotized by it. One of the coolest things I've ever seen. Yeah, I can fast forward. And sorry. Here's another take on it. This sound is just a special effect, but it sounded similar to the sound I was hearing when I was standing like 100 meters away from this eruption. So that's how I remember the sound. It's very, unique and special sound. It's hard to describe it. You might think I was burning my drone, but I didn't. It was very windy, so the heat was mostly, blowing away. And here's just a similar shot. Maybe you don't have to see that. Same thing, just, those waves. But here's a first video, first hyperlapse of a volcano eruption. I was using a Mavic 2 Pro for this one. But here is a video I made that is one of its kind. That I was the first one to capture like a crater collapse, volcano crater collapse. And I did not only get it with one drone. Actually, I got it from two perspectives. I had one drone waiting for the sunrise in the background, and I, then I took my that was a Mavic 3 Pro, and I wanted to catch the sunrise, and I didn't want to miss it, so I let the drone hover. And then I took my Inspire, and just when I took off, the crater there, which is like 30 meters high, collapsed, and the lava just flowed out. Very dangerous situation. I was so angry at myself because I didn't catch the total beginning of the collapse, and no one there got it, who were there with me, and I was just so angry at myself that I missed the opportunity to capture this. And I was just I had to calm down after seeing this, and then after I had relaxed a little bit, I was gonna fly my Mavic 3 Pro, and I was like looking for it. Where did I put it? And I looked around, and then I see a remote controller on the hood of the car, laying there. And I was like, why is it on? And I walked to the remote, and I see I was recording this whole thing while I was waiting for the sunrise. So I immediately went from being angry at myself for missing that one-of-a-kind moment to becoming just blown away by how lucky I was. So here's my volcano crater collapse. First time ever recorded. And this is like 30-meter high, so it's like probably like a building that has six or seven floors. Just so you see the scale. And here's my Inspire footage. So I was very pleased with capturing this moment. And here is just before it happened. And the crater is like really drowning in itself. The lava is so heavy and so full. And here is after the collapse. Oh, here's one from a distance. And here you can see how the lava tunnels became just empty just after the collapse, because the lava just stopped running there. It was running to the side now. This position of the crater was so photogenic, like perfect with the old volcano in the background. That's a really good position for nice shots. Yeah, and recently I did something. I sacrificed or took a very big risk of my drone. This is the current eruption in Grindavík, and it had like 4 or 5 craters, and I decided to fly low over it. This is just a normal drone, but it has insurance, DJI Care, so I didn't care. And the lava is flowing over the drone. Yeah. But I have some clips more, if you're still interested, that I want to show you. Yeah, so I've not shown anyone these clips before. I've not been wanting to hurt the people of Grindavík town, because it's very sensitive. People losing their whole belongings and their home. But here you can see what the lava has gone into the town, and it took like 3 homes. So I did this for like a documentary purpose. Very dramatic. You see the craters there. This just there were so many craters opening just all over the place. You can see there in a far distance as well, as part of the same like crack called Sund, and it goes through the town, but thankfully it didn't go like further into the town. And that crater died just that night, stopped erupting. And here is also just another view earlier in the day. It was very shocking to see this. So Do you have any questions or?
No?
Sorry.
Ja, det er ikke alltid så lett å gjøre noe med det. Hvis det er noen som har noen spørsmål, skal de spørre på norsk, så kan jeg eventuelt oversette hvis det er noen som ikke er komfortabel med engelsk. Nei? How close can you fly with the drone? There's a question.
Yeah, it actually depends on the weather, but I try to keep my drone like 100 meters above, not going closer. But it all depends on the wind, how strong the wind is. The more wind, the more you can allow to go closer. Because the wind.
4K and 60 frames per second. 4K and 60 frames per second.
Could you hear? Did you film in 4K
Yeah.
and 60?
Yeah.
60 frames per second?
Yeah, I have also a lot in 8K. And but 8K footage is like 25 frames per second. And what I shoot with the Mavic is normally like 50 frames per second.
Anyone else? I think that's it, Siggy. Thank you so much for participating and showing us your amazing footage. I think it's pretty awesome and stunning. It's like you said that that nobody else has taken that kind of footage before, when you can actually get it from, from above, which obviously you would have to do with helicopter and stuff, and that would be obviously not safe earlier. So pretty amazing, I think.
Thank you.
Well, then I just want to say thank you for participating. So let's just give him a round of applause.
Thank you.